Welcome back, YouTubers. This is Omar from Near Mint Condition, and today I'm going to do an overview of the Batman Knightfall Omnibus. This is the big crossover in the 90s that changed Batman forever, or at least for a year or so. And I'm also going to compare it to the trade paperbacks that have been released previously, in case you're wondering if you need to upgrade or not. So stay tuned. First thing you'll notice are these spines. I'm not a big fan of them. I don't like the way that they look. There's no order to them, and you really have to take a deep look to see where the volumes are written. They're right there. That's just ridiculous. I mean, say what you will about the trade paperbacks, at least they had some kind of order to their spines. And there's volume 3. You know, character face up at the top, DC logo at the bottom. This is just a mess. And so, right off the bat, no thanks. I was not a fan of these spines. So let's look at the covers of each one and what they contain. Each one of these is a new cover drawn by Kelly Jones, who did the original covers during the Knightfall saga. When you remove the dust jacket, it's the exact same art minus the logos. And so let's take a look inside. There's that Joe Quesada from 500, and it kicks off with Vengeance of Bane. So the original trade paperback contained Vengeance of Bane 1, Batman 491 to 500, Detective Comics 659 to 666, Showcase 93, 7, and 8, and Batman Shadow the Bat 16 through 18. That's what the original trade paperback, well, I'm sorry, the thicker trade paperback. There was an original release before that one, and that one contained not as much. Like, it didn't include Vengeance of Bane and stuff like that. So what this new omnibus collects is Vengeance of Bane, number 1 again, just like the previous thick trade paperbacks. Has an introduction by Doug Moench. It collects Batman 484 to 500. So now it collects the early appearances of Azrael. And then it collects Batman Shadow the Bat 16 through 18, and Detective Comics 654 to 666, and Showcase 93, 7 through 8. So it collects a few more issues than the trade paperback did. Right off the bat, the problem does not contain Sword of Azrael. The first appearance of this character that just shows up out of nowhere in a Batman comic book. DC, you had one job. Azrael just shows up in the comic books here. Like, there is no introduction to his character. He's just hanging out with Robin. Not even wearing that badass outfit. Robin gives him this really lame outfit that kind of looks like the villain Metalhead, which makes him snap later on. But anyway, I don't understand that decision to keep that out. Maybe it's the fact that it was drawn by Joe Quesada. It's the only reason they don't include it in here, which is a stupid idea. It's a miniseries that has been collected only in trade paperback more than once. And I thought it was probably the biggest mistake DC has done with these books. I mean, we have just about everything else. It is almost a complete run, because I'll get to Night Quest here in a second, and what they originally left out and what they included. But other than that, this book is perfect. It's everything you need. This is the Knightfall event. This is where Bane ends up breaking Batman's back. It's a huge book. Well over 1,000 pages. This is the summer event. I got a lot of readers interested in Batman because they knew he was getting his back broken. In the same way, new readers came in to read Superman because they knew he was dying, and they knew how much that issue was worth. Most people went out and bought that issue where Batman gets his bat broken. And it was worth something for a while. So was Vengeance of Bane 1. And I think they still hold their value. But yeah, this is the entire event leading all the way up to issue 500, where Jean-Paul Valley becomes the new Batman, and he starts making his own suit. And the suit, this is why I find it weird that they don't have Sword of Azrael collected in here. The suit was designed by Joe Quesada. That's a Kelly Jones cover. But Joe Quesada did the original designs for the suit. Yeah, this bat-ass suit, it's been known. There's a Afterword by Chuck Dixon, and you get original pages here. Character design by Joe Quesada, as I stated earlier. His henchman, and there's that Joe Quesada cover to 500. This was a chromium cover when it came out. So that's volume 1. So that's practically what you get if you already had this thick trade paperback. Now, these thick trade paperbacks are retail price of $30. The paper quality kind of not that great, and it's standard trade paperback size, so you don't get that oversized art. Now let's look at volume 2. This is called Knight's Quest. Once again, Kelly Jones, that's the covers. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am not a fan of these covers. I love Kelly Jones, but I don't know. They could have gone with somebody else designing the covers. Maybe it's nostalgia, the reason why they went with him, which is great, but I'm not a fan of these. So here's Volume 2 compared to Volume 2 of the trade paperback. Once again, retail price of $100 for the omnibus and retail price of $30 for the trade paperback. Now, here, while I flip through here, this one also has a forward too. I think all these do. But this one, here's the forward by Scott Peterson. So the trade paperback collected Detective Comics 667 through 675. And then Shadow of the Bat 19 through 20, skipping 21 through 23, and then collecting 24 through 28. Batman 501 to 508, Catwoman 6 through 7, and then Robin 7, which is a crossover. This book right here collects a crap ton more. When I was bitching about the first volume, they really made up for it in this volume. So this collects Batman 501 through 508, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 59 through 61, Batman Shadow of the Bat 19 through 28, hell yeah, Catwoman 6 and 7, Detective Comics 667 through 675, Justice League Task Force 5 through 6, Robin 1 and 2 and 7, and then Showcase 94, number 7. A lot of these stories in here have never previously been collected, so I thought that was great that they included them here. So Night Quest was split up into two different storylines. There was Night Quest The Crusade, which featured Azrael, or Bat-Ass, Jean-Paul Valley as Batman, and then there was The Search, and that's what has been left out of the trade paperbacks in every version of the trade paperbacks. The Search is pretty much Bruce Wayne going after Nurse Sharon Friedlander and trying to find her, and also how he gets rehabilitated and he gets his back normal again. He just doesn't show up at the end of Night's End claiming to be Batman again. So I thought that was really cool that they included everything in here. So, as I mentioned, a lot of these stories have not been released before. Lots of gorgeous artwork here by Graham Nolan, Mike Manley, Jim Ballant, and then the talents of Chuck Dixon, Dennis O'Neil, Alan Grant, Doug Moink. Just really talented writers working on this huge 90s event that kind of petered out here in the middle because I think everybody was just tired of Jean-Paul Valley by the time this was probably halfway done. So by the time that Bruce Wayne shows up at the end, everybody let out a sigh of relief because we knew that Bruce Wayne, here's the Justice League Task Force issues that were never previously collected. And Task Force was an okay series, but this is part of the crossover of The Search. Oh, yeah. Man. Remember reading these when they were coming out. So yes, by the time Bruce Wayne shows up, towards the end of Night's Quest, everybody is ready for him to become Batman again, including myself. And there's Night Quest, the conclusion by Tom Grumet. God, I love this guy's artwork. Not sure what he's doing these days. I think the last thing I saw him do was the X-Men Forever series. But he was one of my favorite New Teen Titans artists. And there's an afterword here by Alan Grant. This was the alternate cover. This was a chromium cover. And an alternate cover to Robin 1. I think some of the Wizard magazine covers. And then... oh, I don't think I've ever seen that pinup. That's a Joe Quesada. And here is some sketches by Graham Nolan and original art pages. And here is Volume 3, which again was previously collected in a thick trade paperback and a small size trade paperback. $100 retail price for the omnibus and $30 for this. And let's compare what this has compared to the original thick trade paperback. Let's remove the sleeve here to look at the textless art. I actually like this cover a lot more than I did the other ones. So let's look in here and then I'll talk about what the original fat trade paperback collected. Here's artwork by Barry Kitson, this character design here, this costume that he wore like in 3 issues they made a toy out of, and fan art. Everybody loves the red version of the Bat-Ass costume. Here is an introduction by Jordan B. Gorfinkel. And let's see. So here's Batman 509. So the original fat trade paperback collected Batman 509 and 510, skipping 511 and went through 512 and 54 all the way to 514. And then Shadow of the Bat 29 through 30, skipping 31 and then 32 through 34. And then the same collecting Detective Comics 676 to 677, skipping 678 and then 679 through 681. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 62 to 63, Robin 8 through 9 and 11 through 13, and Catwoman 12 through 13. So skipped around a lot. Batman 509 through 510, 512 through 515, so it also skips 511. By the way, those issues that they're skipping, they're part of the 0 hour, so I can understand completely why they're skipping them. And those are collected in a new Batman 0 hour trade paperback. There's also Superman 0 hour trade paperback. But anyway, then it collects Legends of the Dark Knight 62 to 63, Batman Shadows of the Bat 29 through 30, skipping 31 again, and 32 through 35, Catwoman 12 through 13, Detective Comics 676 and 677, skipping 678, once again 0 hour, and 679 through 682, Robin 8 through 9, skipping 10, and collecting 11 through 14, Showcase 94 number 10, Nightwing Alfred's Return number 1. I think that's been collected in a Nightwing trade paperback before. And for the first time ever, Vengeance of Bane number 2. So it does collect quite a lot more. Always loved the Magnolia cover. So Night's End is Batman having to like take out all these Lady Shiva assassins, and apparently even killing one of them. But come on, it's Bruce Wayne. He's not gonna do that. And then eventually taking on Azrael, or Bat-Ass, the John Paul Valley, claiming the role of Batman again. And so this collects all of Night's End. Let's see, this is the Night's End Aftermath, and then the Catwoman Aftermath. I don't think this has ever been collected before. This is the Showcase 94 number 10. It's just a little story by, I love this cover too, by Joe Quesada. So it's a story by Alan Grant, just about Jean Paul Valley, what happened afterwards, how he's living on the streets and claiming to be somebody. And then he collects Prodigal, the story where Nightwing becomes Batman for about 12 issues, I think, while Bruce Wayne is away. Now, what I've noticed with my copy of Prodigal, it's kind of whitewashed, so the colors look really toned down. I don't know. I remember them being a little more vibrant than this. So let me do a comparison here. So let's see. On the left is the trade paperback, and on the right is the omnibus. I'm not sure if you can tell, but they do look a little more vibrant. The colors do on the trade paperback. Let me compare these two pages here. Maybe you can see a little bit better. I don't know. I notice a subtle difference, like the colors being a little brighter here on the trade paperback release. Not very much, just a little bit. They seem to be a little darker, where this is just a little bit whitewashed. But I just noticed it through the Prodigal storyline, because eventually we get to Troika, which was collected before in the Kelly Jones hardcover. Let's see. What I will say before we flip through the end here is that if you have not read these, maybe the trade paperback is the way to go. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe then you can upgrade to these $100 books. Because I hate to recommend these $100 books to somebody that has never read Knightfall. Yes, it's a must-read because it's part of the Batman mythos and still fits into the continuity. It's one of the biggest events that has happened to Batman. And at the time, it was the biggest event that happened to Batman in the 90s. I don't think another crossover like this had as much impact on him and the Bat family until probably No Man's Land and then Legacy. There were other events that I hope they end up collecting in omnibus format. And while it's not the greatest story, I can understand why people want to pick it up. But the last thing I want to do is recommend getting $100 books when you can easily pick up the $30 trade paperbacks to see if you even like it. And then perhaps upgrade. And then this is the conclusion of Prodigal with Phil Jimenez on artwork and this guy named John Cleary, who had a very McFarlane style. So much so, I think he went on to do some things for Image Comics. I think he did a Violator miniseries. And I don't know where that guy is. Well, I saw him at a convention probably about 20 years ago was the last time I saw him. And there's the Troika storyline, which introduces the new Batsuit and Kelly Jones on art. And that is all of... Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So here is the search for Alfred, which, like I said, was previously collected in a Nightwing trade paperback. And then it also collects the Vengeance of Bane Volume 2. This was never collected in anything else. And this was an okay follow-up, honestly. Wasn't that great. And I know that Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan have been working on the Bane maxi series, which is about to wrap up, I think. And then there's the Afterword by Darren Vincenzo. And here is some variant covers. Really like the Brian Stilfreeze covers here. Those are really sharp. And here's some promotional posters. And the variant cover again. Oh, no, this is cool. Some uninked Kelly Jones. Man, that guy does love his shadows. And that's it. So that's pretty much it. That is all 3 of the Omnis. So thank you very much for watching. I hope I was able to persuade you into purchasing these or upgrading your trade paperbacks by looking at the inside, or the other way around, keeping you from buying them. If this is your first time watching and you enjoyed what you watch, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And join us every Thursday for our brand new episodes, and on Tuesday when we do a live episode called Old Reader, New Reader, where I go back and read something again that I haven't read in quite a long time, and 2 of my friends read the same book for the first time. And it's a live event, so join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us for a live discussion. Next Tuesday will be Batman Year 1. So again, this was Omar. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.